If you're a content creator, video editor, music producer, or photographer relying on external hard drives, you'll definitely want to watch this video. Instead of buying pre-built external hard drives, it's time to build your own SSD, and it's actually easier to install than you think. It should actually take you less than 5 minutes. And it's going to be a lot much faster than the regular drives that you could just get off the shelf. The problem about buying pre-built SSDs off the shelf is that's all you get. If you run out of storage, you're basically done. You have to get another drive, or you got to delete files. Also, you're going to be stuck with the SSD speed at that time. Whereas if you go with an SSD enclosure, you can upgrade the storage. Say you started with 1 terabyte and you want to go 8 terabytes, you can do so, and you can switch out the drive inside for something faster. With Thunderbolt 5 now here, Acasis promises 80 gigabit speeds with its new NVMe enclosure, but can it really deliver 80 gigabit speeds, or maybe is it just hype? We're gonna have to find out. Now, full transparency, Acasis sent this to me for review and I get to keep it. But as always, I'll be honest with you guys. If you decide to pick one up, you can use my referral code in the description below. It will be Jacob15. I'm going to also link the other drives I mentioned also in this video. Before we install this and also check the performance, let's go ahead and unbox this and see what comes inside the unit. First of all, I got to give this to Acasis for having good packaging. There's another company that's competing with Acasis, and I've had horrible experience with them truly, and their packaging came just like whatever. Let's go ahead and open this. I can already tell this is going to be a very nice product. All right, there it is. Yep. So it has a nice blue top. All right, and here we go. Nice. So you could definitely tell that they did their research on good packaging. Oh wow, I actually do like this better. First impressions, this is pretty sick. It's very sleek and not too big like the other competitor. So I gotta give it to them on this one. So we're gonna come back and talk about that. Oh nice, it comes with a Thunderbolt 5 cable, that is. And then we have 2 thermal pads in here. It's gonna help with the heat, and we have some stoppers. And this looks like the SSD size adapter. So essentially, if you have a small SSD, you're gonna need to use this. And then we got the instruction manual. Okay, so just kind of looking around the enclosure really fast, we have an 80 gigabit speed port right here, and that's where we're gonna be plugging in the Thunderbolt 5 cable. And then we have the fan clickable button. And then here is where we're gonna open to access the enclosure. So that's basically it. It's really fast and straight to the point. So before we get into the installation, it's good to talk about what kind of drives this thing takes, and also the different type of SSD enclosure Acasis currently has. So the drive does come in 2 models, the TB501 and the TB501Pro. Both of them feature Intel's new generation GHL9480 chip, which basically just enables Thunderbolt 5 support. And the Pro does include several options that I think is worth the money, such as adjustable fans and also a sleeker design, and very, very, very important, it's backwards compatible. That means it also can work with Thunderbolt 4, Thunderbolt 3 as well. It's USB 4, 3.2, 3.1, and 3.0 compatibility. The price difference between this and the basic is not that much, especially with the 20% off. You might as well just upgrade to the Pro, because just at least for the compatibility. I'm gonna be using a 990 Pro from a Samsung. These are literally my favorite drives. So I'm gonna go ahead and install that in here. Now these can go up to 8 terabytes, but I'm gonna be using a 2 terabyte and likely would upgrade it to a 4 terabyte later, but just as a start, I'll do it with a 2 terabyte. Now, it's important to install an SSD without heatsink, because it won't fit in here. And you'll know because they'll usually say heatsink in there, and they tend to be very bulky. So you want to buy the one without heatsink. Something I love that Acasis did, they actually did a lot of rigorous testing across different type of SSDs that will work best with this enclosure. So they provided us a list of recommended drives for maximum speeds. If we were to look at the chart, we could see that the 990 Pros are well up there. And if you have a Mac, this is going to be even much more faster. Keep in mind, to take advantage of the full Thunderbolt 5 speeds, you do need a device that is Thunderbolt 5 compatible. It's okay if you don't have one, as we've learned this is backward compatible, but if you want the full speeds, you're definitely going to want to get a Thunderbolt 5 device. These will be things like the latest MacBook Pros, or also the new motherboards like the ProArt Z890, these are going to be best for the fast Thunderbolt 5 speeds. So how easy is it to install this enclosure? They claim that it's a tool-free installation. Let's see if it's really that easy and it's plug and play. I see open right here. It doesn't look like it's a sticker, so it looks like we're gonna be stuck with that open. And let's see. Oh wow, I did not even have to force it. This is really tool-free. Wow, okay. I'm actually surprised because a lot of times they would require screws. Let's see if it's easy to put it back in. Yeah, literally it's just as easy. So we'll just take this out. Literally the other competitor made you have to go find a screwdriver. So let's go ahead and open the 2 terabyte drive. So what we're gonna do is match this side and put it in here. Just push it in a little bit. There it is, we heard the click. And then we're gonna take one of these stoppers. With these stoppers, you kind of have to put it a little bit in between, like that. And then we push down, boom. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. I wish they have like a see-through version. That would be crazy. Acasis, you should definitely look into doing that, like a see-through top right here. And if you do, at least give me some commission. You can close it right now because technically speaking, this SSD already has a heatsink strip on it. But if you want to put additional, you can. And so we don't want to touch the top part. And literally, you just put it on top. Remove this part. So, all right, cool. All right, so now all we do is close it up, and this should be ready to go. Guys, literally, this should take you less than 5 minutes. Like, this is what I'm talking about, like how easy it was just to install this. Okay, so now let's go ahead and set it up with the computer, and then we'll try out some tests. So we're just gonna put that right here. Okay, and then now we're gonna plug it into the computer. So let's go ahead and format this SSD so it could work with our computer. So right now it actually does not show up, and that's normal. It's because you first have to tell the drive what it should do. If you have a Mac, you're gonna open up this utility, and if you don't, you just open the control panel, right? And there it is. It's already asking us what do we wanna do. So we are gonna leave it under the guild partition table. So here goes disk 4. And it says it's unallocated. So what we're gonna do is new simple volume, next. And we do want it to have the full capacity, so we don't wanna limit it, so we're gonna say next. And then we're just gonna assign it a letter. Being that it's not going to stay on my computer, this letter really doesn't matter. But for now, I guess I could leave it as H. So we're gonna say next. Now this part is gonna be super, super important. If you're gonna be using the SSD with, say, the Mac, then you could use something like APFS or the Mac OS Extended Journaled. Now, I don't recommend doing this if you're going to be using your drive for Mac and Windows. But if you're only going to use it for Mac, one of those would work. And if you're going to be using it for Windows, NTFS is good. But again, if you want to use it for Windows and Mac, then the best one is going to be exFAT. Considering that I do have a Windows and a Mac, and I do use both systems quite heavily, I have to do exFAT. There are advantages with going non-exFAT, because if you go NTFS, then it's going to be probably the fastest for Windows, and then if you do APFS or the journaled, it'll probably be faster on the Mac OS. But the exFAT is just going to be the best of both worlds, so it could open on both systems. So let's go ahead and click exFAT. All right, and then we could just name it something. I'm just gonna call it portable SSD, perform a quick format, and once we click finish, it should now populate here on the side. Boom, there it is. All right, so now we do the fun part, which is the performance test. So let's talk about what I'm going to be using. I noticed there's already a lot of videos using this enclosure with the new MacBook Pros that have Thunderbolt 5, and not so much with the Windows. So I will focus my test on that. So currently we're on the Windows system. My new motherboard is the ProArt Z890, and it has Thunderbolt 5 compatibility. So first things first, there are some changes that needed to be made in order to get the disk running at its full speed. So what I have to do is go to Device Manager, and then we go to disk drives. Okay, and then now we're gonna right click on properties, and then we will do policies as well, and then quick removal is what was default, so we need to switch that over to better performance. And then you're also going to check enable write caching on the device. Okay, and so we click OK. So before we do the real world transfers, I did want to do a disk speed test. I did notice the Blackmagic disk speed test was a lot much slower for the read and write, and then the Crystal Disk Mark actually showed the above 6,000 megabytes per second, which is what I was expecting. So I'm not really sure what to make of that, but when we do the real world transfers, we'll see what the speeds actually are. Alright, so let's talk about real world file transfers. We're going to transfer a 10 gigabyte file, a 50 gigabyte file, and a 100 gigabyte file from the PC to the SSD, and it will also make our way back from the SSD to the PC. I made sure to use FastCopy. You could also use another program called TeraCopy, but I did try that and I noticed it was a little bit slower than FastCopy. I'm not really sure what to make of that, but it was slower. Out of curiosity, I did also use File Explorer and I noticed it was about a gig slower. So it is true when they say using the File Explorer may have some bottlenecks, so third parties may be better. But that doesn't mean you can't use File Explorer, for example, if you want to transfer things quickly. But if you are transferring bigger files, it may be worth snagging one of these programs. Transferring from the PC to the SSD, a 10 gigabyte file took about 3.1 seconds with an average speed about 3.1 gigabytes per second. A 50 gigabyte took 16.3 seconds with an average of 3.6 gigabytes per second. And 100 gigabytes took 28 seconds with an average of 3.7 gigabytes per second. Transferring from the PC to the SSD, I have to say this is pretty good. Alright, so now transferring to the SSD to the PC, we should get better speeds. So going with a 10 gigabyte file took 2 seconds with an average of 5.4 gigabytes per second. A 50 gigabyte took 16 seconds with an average of 5.3 gigabytes per second. The speed did drop to about 2.7, and that's because of the cache of the SSD. So it's not really much of the enclosure. So if you get a 4 terabyte instead of the 2 terabyte I'm using, you could probably get better results. And lastly, a 100 gigabyte took 36.1 seconds with a max transfer speed of 3.5 gigabytes per second, and it dropped to about 3.0 gigabytes per second. So again, that could be more of the cache kicking in. However, I think these speeds are still doable considering that it's 100 gigabytes. These speeds were closer to the Crystal Disk Mark transfer speeds, but I was sent an article and I did see that it is possible to get 6 gigabytes per second. Maybe it's my test unit. Funny enough, I used the same test unit that was in the article, so I'm not sure what kind of magic show they did in there, but somehow it is possible. But for me, I was not able to get it. If anybody knows why, please comment below. So what are the pros and cons of this Acasis SSD enclosure? Let's start with the pros. Well, it does have insane 80 gigabit speed if achieved by using Thunderbolt 5 devices. I do love also the nice aluminum build, so then it does help with also heat dissipation, and I do love that it future-proofs you with Thunderbolt 5, and it's also backwards compatible, and I do really love that. Now in terms of cons, this is one of the first Thunderbolt 5 SSD enclosures to hit the market, so it is going to be more expensive as it is newer technology, and this is the Pro model, so then it is $299, and then the basic version is $269. To be honest, although yes, it's expensive, I still think this is more cost effective, as you could keep the enclosure and it'll future proof you in the future, and you could just keep changing the SSDs inside. So whenever you are done with this and you want to go with say a 4 terabyte or 8 terabyte, you just whip it out and that's it. The NVMe's are getting cheaper, so you could get them as low as $69. I do recommend 100% going this route, as it's more future-proof than buying something that, like the regular T7, and you're stuck with that. And also the price isn't too bad, especially at the time of recording this, you get 20% off. So make sure to use the link in the description below so you could take advantage of that. So what's my final verdict? Is this worth it? 100% yes. This is honestly a no-brainer to get. It future-proofs you, and you can change the NVMe's inside if you ever wanted to upgrade your storage, and you get faster speeds than what's out there right now for a much cheaper price. This is definitely going to be my new daily driver. If I ever needed to offload files to anyone or collect files, this is definitely going to be the way to go, and it's going to be super fast. Once again, all the links will be in the description below. I am going to be making a lot more videos with this SSD, so make sure you hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss out. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.